of some god, not their god. We are a bunch of helping angels of some god, not their god. Our god is a little bit less powerful, but still an ambitious one. He wants to create his own world, and he has this book from the god where a few first pages are whatever is first. A few pages are about how to create such. But there are a few weird words like first, second, third, and none of us has an idea what could it be. So we went to the god and asked him about it, and after a few eons of explanations, I believe that we got it. As the god says that there is some type of thing, so-called a natural number, and it can be either zero, which is nothing, or a successor of some other natural number. So it would make first a successor of 0, second a successor of first or 1, and so on. Okay, but we know how to count. We know how to say that, okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. But what we have 5 things over there, and also 3 things right there. Okay, so we have 5 things and 3 things, but how many things do we have together? We'd have to count them all. But we can also do something like an addition, which would have to call itself, so it's recursive, and we have two numbers, x and y. And what can we say? If x is 0, then adding 0 things, no things, to y would give us just y. And otherwise, x is a successor of some z. And that way, we can add z, the successor of y. And so we can take 1 from x and increase by it y. And so we just move from one set to another, and we have an addition. But also, we can say that, okay, we have 5 groups, each has 7 things, but how many things do we have then? So there is something called multiplication, and we can multiply x and y. We would need some auxiliary function, some auxiliary procedure, and we would take our current result and a counter, because multiplication is just adding a thing a few times. So we multiply by x, y. So we want to add x times y to 0. And so when we match our counter with, if it's 0, then we just return result. There's no problem with adding 0 things. But if it's a successor of something, then we can say, okay, so now our current result would be result and y added to it. And our counter would be z. And so we begin this whole auxiliary thing with our result equal to 0 and a counter equal to x. And so we add x times y to 0. So great. We now have a multiplication. But now there's a problem. Okay, God has created two people, but he decided that it's too fast, and he wanted just to create one, uh, and then eventually uh, uh, torn out a rib from that one and create a second one from it, and that one additional would be disposed or changed into demon or something. But well, we are not sure if we take one from two if it will give us one. So we would like to have something like subtraction. So, I love sub, not love, whatever, let, rec, sub, x and y. So we divide x, divide, great, subtract x from y. Don't tell our God because he can fire me for such mistakes. Okay, so we can say if x is 0, then subtraction of 0 from y just give us y. And we do have to check x and y, and whatever is y, we can just return y. If x is a successor of some z, and y is a successor of some w, then we can say, okay, so subtract z from w. There's a problem. What if y is a success? If 0, sorry, and x is something else? How can we subtract something from 0? And that's a bit problematic, so there's one concept, one trick we can do is to create our own numbers, our own type of numbers. It would be called integer, and it would be a pair of a natural number and another natural number. But there's a problem. We cannot add to integers. We do have to create our own addition. And we can't call it just add, as add is already a thing. And so we would call it add z. I don't know why z. Some other angel said that it's from German Zahlen, but I have no idea what German is, mein Gott. And so we added two numbers, and it will be x positive and x negative, and y positive and y negative. And if we want to add, because what is integer? Integer is just a thing, how much do we have and how much we are indebted. And so we can say that, okay, we have some x positive and we add our y positive to it. So we have lots and lots of positives, but we also are indebted more by yn. So we can say that it's just addition of xp, yp, and addition of xn and yn. And so we added to this. And now we can also subtract. We don't have to say that it's sub z, but we can call it sub z. So it's xp, xn, yp, and yn. And what can we say? That it's just addition of, now we subtract x from y, so our positives are y positive, but x negative, because we are indebted less by it. So it's x negative, y positive, and x positive, y negative. So now we can subtract. But also we have to multiply separately. So we can multiply xp xn and yp yn. And now how do we multiply two integers? We can say that an integer is a minus b times c minus d, which can be expanded into ac plus bd minus bc minus ad. So you can say that it's an addition of multiplication of xp and yp and multiplication of bd, which is xn and yn, and as our negative we would have an addition of multiplications of xn and yp and multiplication of xp and yn. And now we have multiplied to this. Okay, our God says that he has 100 legs to give away, and he has two animals, snake and centipede. And there's a problem, because, well, the God has made a mistake and gave all the 100 legs to a centipede, but our God would like to be more just and give away these legs equally. But, well, how can we say that? How could we divide something into something? We cannot say that, okay, we divide 5 into 2. What is the division of 5 into 2? So there's an idea. We do not have to divide, as we didn't have to subtract with integers. We can say that, okay, so there is another type of numbers, so-called rational numbers, which would be an integer times an integer. And it is a ratio of two integers. But, well, maybe you have guessed, we have to create our own addition, subtraction, multiplication, and then division for rationals. So to start addition of q's, as well with these q's are from, well, Italian quotienza, whatever, something like that. I have no idea what is Italian, Italish, Italic, Italianish, whatever. Italian. So we want to add q's, and it's x, and now we have a ratio. We can say that the upper part of a ratio is a numerator and a lower part is denominator. So we can say it's xn and xd and yn and yd. So as we have our addition, what we have to do is like a divided by b plus c divided by d. We have to make both denominators equal to each other. So it would be something like AD by BD plus CB divided by BD. And so it would be AD plus CB divided by BD. So it would be AD plus CB. So addition of two z's of multiplied z, and it is xnyd, and multiplied to these xd and yn, and all of this divided by multiplication of two z's, which is xn, yn. And of course, I made a mistake, xd and yd. So we have addition. Same would be with subtraction. Sub q, xn, xd, yn, yd, and we want to subtract z, and it would be mod. Okay, just to keep the order, it would be xd, or no, that's good, that's good. So we subtract multiplied xn and yd, and multiplied mod z, sorry, x y y d, and as a denominator we'd like to have multiplied z xd yd. And okay, what is xy xn? And now we just have to multiply, which is mod q xn xd yn yd. I forgot about yn here, and that's not good because we should have xy yn yn, not xy xd. So multiplication is quite easy. It's just a multiplication of numerators and multiplication of denominators, which is xn yn, and multiplication of xd yd, and also division is quite simple. Xd yn yd, and just not mutl but mult z xn yd. We divide by x, so it's xd yn and multiplied xn yd. And so we just created math.